Okay, welcome back everybody. I did a little work on this big ship off screen, and we're pretty much done. Here's the bottom. This is the Scarab, and I used this blue and green and yellow and black vibe to kind of create the colors of a stylized Scarab. This is the thruster section, as you can see, with a few extra atmos to save hydrogen in atmosphere. Here's our outside air vent for pulling in oxygen. Now there is one issue. I do have these doors all censored now, and it does it depressurizes, and it's supposed to open the door once depressurized, but I think the issue is that the oxygen tank is full. So in order to fix that, I would need to do some kind of valve type thing here on the tank. And it's already kind of working in a through kind of a way, but I'd have to really move things around to fix that. So I'm not going to. And I'll show you what I did with. So for the, starting with these, it's probably the easiest one to show you. Come out here. We'll take a look at this sensor. Try to get on there. There it is. So this sensor, we'll go show on HUD. So you can see, and they're all about like this. They just cover the square in front of the door, so that when we enter the sensor range, all that happens is it starts depressurizing. And when we leave, it turns off depressurizing, right? That's all it does. Oh, and it's also changing the airlock lights from orange when it's pressurized to red when it's not. So that works. It repressurizes. The doors kind of end up doing more than they need to. Yeah, it takes a while. Okay. It takes a while to fill up this big room. Anyway, it's sort of more or less working. So what is... We have to look at the... let's look at the vent for the rear airlock. When it's... The goal is when we are depressurized, it opens the outer door. When it's pressurized, it opens the inner door. And I left some space here to make room for them to lock or unlock. I decided not to do that because it just makes it more complicated. But basically, if you're full of oxygen, you know, you're gonna just have to live with it. Because I don't feel like making a valve for the oxygen tank. Engineered Coffee YouTuber has a really good tutorial about how to make a valve like that. I'll show you sometime, or just look at his. And so we coming forward, we reach the med bay. This is, I forget what this one is. Oh yeah, this is for the oxygen tank. So what this is doing is just a simpler version of a valve. When the oxygen tank reaches 80%, it is going to turn off the outer air vent. And I decided to turn it off rather than switching to pressurized, because if it's on pressurized, then it'll just be sending oxygen and hydrogen out of the ship. We don't want that. Here's our little cryo vat. Coming through forward some more into the hangar, we've got refill stations in most of the airlocks and armories in most of the airlocks. Here we are in the hangar. Got a bit of a control room here. These buttons depressurize the hangar and then open the hangar doors. Let's see how that works. So it opens that door to attempt to pull pressure out, then opens these. I could time it a little more to make sure that it's fully depressurized, but there's that. And anytime that an interior door opens, it triggers the timer to close all the doors, including these. So that will repressurize. Oh, interesting. So it opened up those for some reason too. I might want to look at that. Oops. So it doesn't work perfectly, but let's just try this one more time and see what happens when we open the hangar doors. It's depressurizing. Oh, I see. So actually it... Curious why it opened these doors, though. You open up this. Oh, it opens those because everything's depressurized. Now it should be repressurizing, I think. Opens this one, showing that it's repressurized. A little too much opening of doors. I might adjust that. But it all basically works, and it should keep the... It should save hydrogen that way, which was the entire plan. Here's the upper, the road to the upper deck. Once we're on this, it should be trying to open this, but since the oxygen is full, it's not going to do it. We'll try it and we'll try giving it some tests once we build it in survival. So lock onto your front connector, and you can just walk right off onto an economy station or whatever. I added a remote control block, and hilariously, I realized very late in this build that I did not add any H2O2 generators, so I hid them in here. There's, let's see, yeah, everywhere in front of all of these downward thrusting thrusters, except for this one, because there's no room to put it next to the gun. I mean, we could, but I'll just show you. There's one there. There's one there. And there's one not right there. Anyway, should be 6. 3 on each side. 1, 2, maybe it actually is here. Oh yeah, there it is. So that should be plenty. Hydrogen engines are shut off. Let's try coming back in somewhere else. Like over here, for example. Should depressurize. And if the oxygen tank is not full, it should open. Yeah, in hindsight, I really should have put a valve. There's a chance I might be able to do it, like using a different type of tank, but just gonna call it good enough. So let's see. Let's look at some more event controllers. I've got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. One for batteries charged and batteries low. When the batteries get less than 10%, it turns on the hydrogen engines. And when the batteries are fully charged, it turns them off. Cockpit lights. This is just a silly little... I'm going to go forward. Wait for this. Should open. Should open. And that is when we... Oh, actually, I'm not using it right now. I turned it off. But I will show you. Turn that on so that when we get out of the cockpit, it turns these lights off after turning them red and green for left and right. Enter the seat, and they turn purple, kind of like black lights. So just a really simple, kind of silly thing. And I decided to just leave them on by turning that event controller off. So they're just going to be this color permanently. I can do something else with the cockpit or use that event controller for something else. It's this one right here. Next event we have for when it's connected. When we connect either the front or bottom connector to a station, for example, it's just going to go through and set our batteries to recharge, set our hydrogen tanks to stockpile, turn off our hydrogen engines, and we don't turn them back on when we disconnect, turn off our lights, turn off all of our thrusters, and lock our mag plates. Related to that is that when the hydrogen tank gets full, when it's equal to or greater than 100%, all of our hydrogen, actually I think there are more hydrogen tanks to use here. Quite a few. Oh, you know what, I did this wrong. Oh no, that's the available tank. Available lock, sorry, I'm half asleep here. So when all of these hydrogen tanks are full, we turn off stockpiling. Very simple. So that will just keep it from stockpiling and trying to pull things from our base, which messes things up if we're connected to something where other ships are connected with hydrogen tanks. And I showed you the one with the oxygen tank already. We have the doors controller. This just basically any time a door on our ship gets opened, not including hangar doors, we turn on a timer that closes all the doors. We'll look at that timer next. And of course this does the same thing with the hangar doors. Just the hangar doors. When the hangar doors open, when the hangar doors open, we do nothing. When they close, we repressurize the main airlock and open that door so that it can repressurize the hangar. Let's look at the timers. There's only 3 of them. So this is the door one. Let's make it silent. I don't think that only makes a difference if you have a sound block. Could be wrong about that. Anyway, what this does is just closes all the doors. The hangar depressurize is when we push one of those hangar buttons. And when we push one of those hangar buttons, it's going to depressurize both of our airlocks surrounding the hangar and open those doors to try to pull oxygen out of the hangar in preparation for the timer to open the hangar doors, which is this one. And of course, I have it set for 6 seconds. And of course, all that does is open the hangar doors. Then let's look at our sensors. We've looked at the ones. I have some of these hidden, I think. Maybe not. So here are the main. These are the airlock sensors. They detect players, friendly players, and I showed you basically what they're trying to do, which is depressurize the airlock, open the outer door. You walk in, leave the sensor. And when you leave the sensor, here I'll show you, they should all be the same. So when you enter the sensor, it depressurizes, turns the light red. Oh, and it's not actually trying to open the outer door. That might be part of the problem. What it should be doing, let's do the roof. When we enter, depressurize, turn it red, and let's try having it open a door. I forget which airlock this is already. Roof airlock, okay. So, door, roof. We want the outer airlock door to open. Oh no, my bad. It's not supposed to be happening here. It's supposed to happen with the vent. So the sensor and the vent interact with each other to make this happen. So you walk in, it depressurizes. You leave, it repressurizes. You walk in, the lights change, and then the vent. Let's look at the roof one. When pressurized, we open an inner door. When depressurized, we open an outer door. Let's go back to the sensor and look at the hangar doors. And this is detecting small ships, friendly small ships, aka me, if I'm playing solo. And when the sensor detects a ship, actually this is something that I have not revised since I made the depressurize event. It's doing all these things, but I could just have it trigger that timer. But on detection, we open the 2 airlocks surrounding the hangar, just like that timer does. We depressurize both of those. And then we start the hangar door timer. So it's the same thing. I could revise this and have it just do the timer. But when it's no longer detecting, it just closes the hangar doors. So I hope that all makes sense. I'll show you the... Come out here and grab a ship. Let's just find... Here, I'll use this one. This is one that I built. Get lined up and see if this ship actually fits in here. So we approach. We should probably have a light indicating that something's happening. But here comes the depressurized hangar. We head inside. Oops. See how we're doing on space. It's real tight. Try to turn. Oh, it does not like that. Can we? Try to get evened up here. Yeah, this ship might not fit in here. It doesn't want to, that's for sure. Can we turn it in this way? Doesn't look like we can, because we're sticking out the hangar. So let's get out of this one. Oops. We'll put this one up here. This is an orbiter. It's designed to go from planet to space, and it has a nice little survival kit on it. So the idea is this is your second spaceship. You know, your first one is really going to be really simple. Anyway, we'll lock that up. It's bigger than most. Check if we damaged anything over here. Looks like not. Let's get a smaller ship to test. I do have a small hydrogen ship somewhere. Let's just grab this one. Little fighter. Connector in the center. Yeah, maybe some rotating lights would be a good idea. We'll roll in here. Connect, and once we're connected, it's no longer going to detect the ship, and so that'll trigger the no longer detected. Once that's closed, it lets pressure back in. We hop out of the ship, we're nice and warm. We disconnect. It triggers. We can get out. No longer connected. The doors should close. So there's our ship. I think it's really cool. This is definitely my best ship so far. Keep trying to get a couple of good pics. And so we've got this pretty much ready to publish in the workshop. I'll have a link. I'm actually going to probably do that idea of adding a rotating light. Maybe just right there. And maybe inside too. I think that'll be okay. Maybe do 2 on the inside and 2 on the outside. Yeah, the automation isn't quite working as expected, but... And then, let's see, where can we put maybe just a single light? There's no room for it up directly up, but maybe... Oh, no room for it there either, unless we change this a little bit. Could just do something with these lights. Let's do that instead. We'll just turn them red. So, I believe what we want to do is start this with the sensor. Actually, let's do it with the timer. I think we want to do it here while the hangar's depressurizing. Maybe group those. And since we're not going to we're not doubling up those, we'll just do that. Let's do this. Name these the same way. Change the color. And turn them off. Now, when the hangar depressurizes, what happened to it? Did I forget to save? I must have. Let's call them warning lights. Okay, try this again. When the hangar starts to depressurize, where are they? Oh, I changed the name. So we are going to toggle that block on, and interior light hangar. Oh yeah, they're not probably in the... Grab those. Let's just make a group. Come back to our timer. And we'll turn those red. Now we need to do something to turn those off. That's probably a finish closing thing. But I don't think we have one specifically for the hangar doors. Oh, maybe we do. Okay, we do, so we can use this. So that anytime they finish opening or closing, we can turn them off. So, off. Off. Oops, uh-oh. Doesn't like that. May have to do this on a separate thing. Let's see. Off. Off. Now if we swap those, will it work? Off. Off. Yes. Actually, we don't want to turn these off. We want to turn them back to an ordinary color. So now, when we try to open the hangar or when we come into range, hold on. Yeah, here's where I should probably just use the timer. Hangar depressurize. Trigger now. Because it's going to do all that. It's going to do that. It's going to do that. And we'll just put that in here, a little closer. Hangar doors open. Start. And so now, so that's turning on the lights. Closing them, when we start to close them, we can also have that turn on, I believe. So we'll turn that on. And we'll turn those to red. Let's see if that works. So what I'm expecting to happen is that as soon as we push a button or have a ship enter the field, it's going to turn these red, turn on the lights out there, and open up the door. And then the lights should turn off when the door stops opening or closing. The reason I made it 6 seconds instead of 5 is it was having a little issue with closing again. I can try setting it back. So that stopped. Good, good. Now when we open any door, it should start closing our hangars, and it should turn those lights back on. Okay, it didn't work when we're closing. Let's find out why. Actually, let's just try putting this back to 5 seconds and see if it... Okay, yeah, it's still working at 5 seconds, so we'll keep it there. But now, when I open that door, we need something that, when this starts to close, But we can't just have it turn on the lights, because if the hangar doors are open, if the hangar doors are already closed, then the light will stay on. For example, let's see. Yeah, you almost need a timer for closing the hangar doors to make that work. Let's see if we can... So when these doors open, it sets those to close. Well, just to show you, we could, for example, oh yeah, this is when opened, we would turn these on. When closed, well, it should turn them off. But maybe we could add this. Yeah, I think either way it's going to be a compromise, but let's just see what happens here. So the lights come on. I can do those later. And yeah, they should shut off. So I guess what we will have to do... How did I get a bunch of... How do I have so much scrap? So what we'll have to do is, when the doors are closed, shut those off. I think that'll be good enough. Let's do the same over here. Turn them red. Turn them back to a regular-ish color. Definitely turns them off, but then we don't really want those to turn on every time. So I think what we would have to do is add another timer block. And there might be room for one back in here somewhere. I could throw one up here. That side looks better. So, I'm not sure if that works. Try that again. And for delay, I don't think we need to do any delay. Let's set up our actions with it. So we're going to go back here, get rid of this because it didn't work. Go to our hangar doors closed timer. And actually, I think we want to do this here. Hangar doors closed. So we'll replace that with the timer. And trigger now. Actually, that should be all we need to do with that. And then find that timer. The action is close the hangar doors and turn on these lights and turn these to red. No. Red. And then actually, just to be on the safe side, let's, when these doors close, when closed, just make sure that these are off. I think it might be covered already, but okay, let's do this. Turn those off. Turn these to an ordinary color. And that should do it. So we'll test. Okay, those are off, great. We open the hangar doors. Depressurizes. Opens. But because of the door timer, I don't think we want. Oops, wait, where is it? Not the timer. Well, maybe the timer is the place to do it. In any case, we want to get rid of these and figure out where we want to turn those off. When the hangar doors finish closing, it should turn them off. But then it opened them up again. Yeah, so the question is, why are they turning back on? When opened and when closed, we should be turning these off. Nothing's happening there. this is definitely where we want that to happen. And it is. So what's causing it to come back on? Should stop. Did I have something when it's depressurized? I'm just not sure why it's turning back on. Maybe it's this. That should just be the thing that's starting it, but trying to figure out what's messing this up. The opening's working great. Yeah, that should have turned it on. Okay. So we know it's that, I think. I'm gonna put those back. And then I think what's happening is that when these doors close, hangar doors close, trigger now. That's causing those lights to come on. Even when they're already closed. So maybe you could trigger like a quick opening. And then, yeah, I don't know. Let's try it. Hangar doors close. We want the timer. And before that, let's just try opening them. Like open them and then close them immediately. So we depressurize. Wait, now... Oh. What a mess. Let's try that one more time. Yeah, so clearly that's not working. trigger closing the doors. Get rid of that. Or maybe just instead of that, I think we might just simplify this. Instead of triggering timer doors close, let's just close the hangar. So trigger should be the same. Should open all the way. Lights should be on. Unless we just leave those lights on the whole time the hangar's open. But in any case, we come into the airlock. Closing. So what if we just don't turn these off when opened? Do something like that. Door opens. You're depressurized. I don't actually mind that. And then open any door. It'll close those. Yeah, I think that's okay. Test with a ship. Lights are on. That's good. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Pop into our little tight space here. Good there. There you go. Doors close. We're cold outside. Pressurize. We're warm. Fully pressurized. All right. Get this out of here. Do that little Han Solo. Yeah, that's great. I can live with that. So now let's just check all of our naming, make sure we have a... Oh, and I still have my orbiter shuttle. But everything has an identifier, so that's good. Let's go up to the roof. Hey, that's just part of the timer. Here we connect here. That should open, but it doesn't because of the oxygen. See, that's the only thing I would probably change / fix about this ship, is just adding a little valve. Disconnect from our hangar. I might even recolor this ship to make it kind of match the one over there, and use these as my sort of fleet in survival. So I think we're good. Actually, let's turn off show on HUD for that sensor. Take a block, copy, hit F10, find my ship, replace, and then I'm gonna go into our projector, turn it on, go to blueprints, find our ship, copy it into our projector as it is. I'm not sure this projection out of bounds, that turns up sometimes and it seems to be kind of random. Warning, 7 layers of projectors. What on earth does that mean? Oh, probably because I have this. I probably need to remove. Let's try it like that. Oops. Yeah, now I broke it. Okay. Is this a bug? Let's try unloading and reloading. Seems like the projector is a little wonky sometimes. And we're back. Let's try this one more time. Put this back in here. There we go. Yeah, I still don't understand what this means. Yeah, this is weird. Something's not working right with that. And I'm not sure what it is. Let's turn it off. Try this one more time. Replace. Go to our projector. Turn it on. Blueprint. Copy to clipboard. Okay. Yeah, I have to redo all this now. Bummer. That's probably going to be easiest from our cockpit. Oi. All right. We want our yaw and roll. Maybe the other way. I think that's it. Move our horizontal. Move our forward. I think we're pretty close there. Looks like we need to move one to the left, and that's it. Get to our horizontal. It's at 6 now, so we want it at 7. Still says out of bounds. Is that just because of all this? Not totally sure how this works, but looks like our projector is good there. So let's go back to our projector. We can mark missing and unfinished blocks. That's not a bad idea. Keeping the projection. All this is what we want. And now we can turn off the projector. And we should be ready. That should be it. So, come in here, republish. And I think that should replace the existing one and should keep all of our screenshots and everything. Let's just check that. Yeah, there we go. Got some screenshots up already. And I think, yeah, Shift Tab takes us out of this Steam overlay. And there we go. So that's it. That's the Scarab exploration ship, everybody. Hope you enjoyed watching this. I will come to another take a screenshot there. I will come to another start another series where we'll build this in survival. And my next job is going to be to try to make some sense of this editing. So I'll see you later.